Welcome everyone, thanks for joining me. Real interesting topic today, or somewhat interesting. I want to talk about inspiration, and I think this is a problem for a lot of beginner artists and myself from time to time. And I think over the years, I've kind of figured out how to go about this. And it has to do with inspiration, finding your style, or really not even worrying about your style. But I think it's a problem, and it's something that I wondered about a lot when I first started painting. You know, I looked at all these other artists that I admired, and I could clearly see that they had a style, a certain way that they painted. Maybe it was certain colors they used, maybe it was subject matter, maybe it was their brushstrokes or how they painted the painting. Whatever the case may be, there's a lot of things that can make up a style of art. And I wanted to find mine. I wanted to have a unique style. I wanted to stand out. I wanted to have this style that people would look at and they would know it's my work. They'd be like, wow, that's pretty cool. Look at that guy's work. Really cool style. And the problem with that, I've come to find, is that it's not something you should actively search for. At least in my case, it's not something that I want to search for. It's something that comes natural, in my case. Not in all cases, but in my case, it's something that comes natural. I've done plein air watercolor sketches, these small plein air watercolor sketches over the past year and a half. And I think I've found a style just by naturally painting the way that I paint. I'm not worrying about how I paint things. I'm not worried about... obviously I'm worried about how I'm painting them, but I'm not worried about in the aspect of a style. I'm just naturally painting things the way that I paint them. I'm not worried about how they look. Does it look like this other artist that I admire? Does it look like their work? I'm not trying to emulate anyone in that particular instance. And I think as beginners, and maybe even some of us intermediate artists, especially myself right now, I'm starting to dabble more into graphite, charcoal, pen and ink. This was one of my first pen and ink drawings that I can even remember doing. I really haven't done much pen and ink at all. Just a few sketches and stuff over the years, just really playing around. But this one I'm starting to get kind of serious about. I really enjoy this. I loved using the tone tan paper. And lately a huge inspiration for me has been artist and former Disney animator. He worked on Lion King original movie, that I watched as a kid, and Aladdin, all these classic Disney movies. He was an animator doing these movies, and now he has a YouTube channel where he does digital painting and shows off his sketchbooks and all kinds of things. Aaron Blaise, really great artist, and is a huge inspiration to me right now because he uses all of his sketchbooks just about are this toned gray or toned tanned paper. And he does such cool drawings, mostly of a lot of animals. He really likes drawing bears and big cats and lions and stuff. He knows the anatomy, like no one else. Like he's drawn, to animate the Lion King, you have to draw, the lion like 90,000 times, I think he said. So he knows how to draw this stuff. He's really good. And, he kind of inspired me to start drawing more, and start using this toned paper again. It was something I used a few years ago. I did a few graphite sketches of a bearded man and stuff, and with a white beard, and played around with the white charcoal, but I've never really gotten too serious about it. And now I'm having a lot of fun. The last few weeks I did some graphite, drawing a rabbit, from a photo I took in Alaska of a snowshoe hare. I drew a rabbit with some graphite, played around with some graphite powder. Before that, I drew a skull with some charcoal. That wasn't on toned paper, but that was just playing around with charcoal and stuff. And now I'm starting to feel that I really like pen and ink because it's so much cleaner. There's not much of a mess. There's no powder. There's no smudging, really. There's none of that to really worry about. It seems more permanent. And I'm able to play around. I have these Prismacolor markers, what I'm using right now. that I've had for a few months, and I've never really used them for anything. And this is a light cerulean blue, and it looked really cool on this toned paper. So I was like, I'm going to start adding this to some of my drawings just to give it a hint of color. It doesn't even have to make sense within the drawing. It just gives it a hint of color. It's still kind of grayed down. It lets the toned paper kind of bleed through still a little bit. And I think this will help over time. It'll help me find my style. Just naturally playing around with things and experimenting and drawing how I want to draw. But I am aware in the beginning here that my style might come across like I'm emulating Aaron Blaise, because he's a huge inspiration to me right now. And I was kind of worried about that, but I realized, looking back at the years when I was painting, I kind of emulated some artists as well, just to learn how to paint. And over time, I started to just be free with my painting, just paint how I naturally paint. I'm not trying to emulate anyone. I'm not trying to copy anyone or make my paintings look like someone else painted it. I want it to be my own. And the only way to do that is to just put the paint down how I'm naturally going to put the paint down. I can't worry about finding my style. It's going to come about if I just draw more, paint more. And that's what I want to do. I'm drawing here more. I'm just, this is one of my very first ones. So I have a long way to go before I actually find a style or find the way that I like to put marks down. And in these beginning stages of, when you're getting this inspiration and, feeling inspired, it's going to take time. It's going to take time to figure out, how do I like drawing fur? I don't know. I got to draw a lot of fur and figure it out. So anyway, hope this helped you out. Hope this made some sense. And just don't be worried if you feel like your art is emulating someone else. Your style is going to come in time naturally. So anyway, here's a close-up of this polar bear drawing I did. Pretty cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And take care of yourself. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.